want to know where to apply and how to apply. In this video, I'm gonna attach some of the some of the links for you to click on and read and see the career page where you can apply the jobs. Today we are talking about three things. We're gonna talk about your living arrangement, we're gonna talk about the working hours, and we're gonna just touch a little bit about the reality of work and travel. Hi, thank you for always following me and watching. Alright, hi, I hope you're doing well. Hey, welcome to another episode of Sip and Share. As usual, my name is Charity, your favorite mixologist, and today we are doing the second part of the cruise ship joining episodes. We are doing several episodes on how you can join the cruise, how you can enjoy traveling and working on cruise, and which departments do we all belong to, right? But of course, as you know, before we start, we have to sip. Today we are sipping hibiscus tea, iced tea. It's with ginger. So if you don't know hibiscus inside here, then you can cook with ginger, chill it, and you can have it over your fresh ice and lemon. So refreshing. Remember, as we said, you don't have to have alcohol to have fun, right? Cheers. Oh my god, you gotta try this. It's so refreshing. Normally I soak it overnight, so I cook my hibiscus tea, like just boil them in the pot with fresh ginger, and then in the morning I put some ice, fresh lemon, and of course you can sweeten it with agave, honey, sugar, brown sugar, however you like. I actually don't take sugar by choice, so this is a good to go, right? On this episode, we're actually going to dive into the second part of our cruise ship edition. So when we did the first part, let's dive back a little bit. We said you have your documents, you've done your medical, you've been hired, and now you're at the part where you're joining cruises. But let's back up a little bit, because most people actually ask in the comments, where do we apply, how do we apply, which are these companies? And then I noticed that many people actually don't know that we have like a lot of cruise ship companies and river cruises and yachts. So let's just mention very fast a few, if not all. We have Virgin Voyages, okay, we have Viking Cruises, we have NCL, we have Carnival, we have Royal Caribbean, we have the MSC, we have Princess Cruises, we have Margaritaville. We have so many cruise ships coming up. And then in the river cruises, also Vikings have river cruises. You have Scala, you have some European companies that I actually don't know the names, but I know they do a lot of like river cruises, so you can go online, check. Then we have yachts. If you are someone who wants like oh god, I have a fly coming to me. We are in Mombasa, so you know, of course you cannot live without these friends of ours, but okay, let's focus. So in the yachts, you have the new one where everybody's favorite captain is Princess Kate. You can go to the Four Cousins, you can go to the Ritz-Carlton, you can do Scenic Group. This is a big one. This has always been a dream. Scenic Group, they do a lot of nice voyages, and they have so many companies like Entangled, so you can dive in that. And then obviously you want to know where to apply and how to apply. In this video, I'm gonna attach some of the some of the links for you to click on and read and see the career page where you can apply the jobs when you want to go on the cruise. Because as we said in the first episode, you need to be careful. There are a lot of scammers there. Point to note is that no one is supposed to charge you to go on cruises. The money that we use, we're using it on medical, we're using it on STCW, which is the course we said you can use it in any other company in case you leave one. We're using it on our visas to enable us to travel, but we are not paying anybody to get us into the job sector, okay? Because remember, the agent is going to do your evaluation interview. Then the company itself, they are going to hire you according to your merit. So in the interview, it won't be like, but I gave somebody money, but me lipeana pesa, you know. So I would rather you do it the proper way. It might take some time. You might have to have patience, but of course, everything good comes at a cost, right? Okay, so part 2, you've got a job. Okay, you've got the job, whether you apply, if you're in Kenya like me, whether you apply through CSS, I'll put the links. Now you've been approved to join. You've done your interviews. If you didn't watch the first episode, you can go back. We talked about the steps of where to start if you want to join the ships. And now you're told you're traveling on Friday. Okay, so before you do, obviously we said after you've done your medicals, then you're going to receive your contract. Before you go to the ship, the company will send you your contract. You be sure to read it, because in there now they talk about working hours, they talk about the do's and don'ts of the cruises, they talk about the restrictions of where to be, where not to be according to your position. They give you a guideline basically on how you're gonna operate on the ship, right? Then they're gonna send you a flight ticket. Obviously, if you've got your visa, they're gonna send you itinerary, where you're flying, how long it's gonna take. If you have any hotel stays, they're actually going to send you the direction to the hotel and how to get there. Okay, but if you're going directly to the ship, then somebody will be waiting for you when you get to the arrival airport. Let's use my example. I am coming from Kenya to, let's say I'm going from Kenya to where? My favorite destination, Italy. So let's go here, say you're going to Milan. Normally, Kenya to Milan will have just one stop. So when I go, normally I used to do Ethiopian Airways, which means I'm going to Nairobi, Addis Ababa, Milan, right? Or you could be using another airline, Turkish, Emirates, whatever it is. So you get there and then somebody picks you up. They pick you up. Let's say you're going to a hotel, you check in your hotel, you have your food, you sleep for the night. They will tell you tomorrow morning you're leaving at 7 or 8, okay? And if you're going to the ship direct, they're gonna pick you up, take you directly to the ship. You get to the gangway. The gangway is like, for people who don't know, joining the ships, the gangway is where you get in the ship, like the gate to the ship, right? So you get to the gangway, and obviously you have to go through the security checks. They need to check if you have anything in your bags. Please note, always bag your bags. You're the one to pack your bags no matter what. You're the one to recheck your bags no matter what. Let nobody pack your bags, because normally you're traveling, and I'm just being cautious. Don't trust anybody with your bag, because you don't know what is inside there. So once you get to the gangway, they're gonna ask you this question: did you pack your bag yourself? Then maybe you say yes, and you're not the one, and maybe they put something that is not allowed to the ship. Because remember, you got the contract. They've told you what is allowed and what is not allowed. So then you go through that, they check your bags, everything is okay. Then you're gonna go to the embarkation process now, which you go through all your paperwork. If you're traveling to a country that needs vaccine, then they're gonna check your medical. If your medical is valid to join the ship, they're going to check your contract, they're going to check your STCW, if it's valid, if it's approved. They're going to check all your documentations, and of course medical will be the high alert at this point, because if you don't have it and if you don't have the original contract, you cannot embark. They cannot use photocopies. So always remember, print and go with it. Okay, I always stay positive. Nobody's going back home at this point, because you're already on the gangway. Come on. All right, so you get in, and then they said, okay, you go into the galley. Charity, you go into the bar. Nike or whoever it is, you're going to the, where, I don't know, kitchen. The other guy is going to the stores. The other one is going, you know, we have so many departments. The other one is going to guest relation. The other one is going to buffet attendant. All those. Okay, you're gonna go with, most of the ships will organize somebody to pick you up at the gangway. Most of the ships. Okay, so you have a welcoming buddy. There's a buddy who is waiting for you to show you where to eat, where to do. Could be your supervisor, or could be anybody chosen from your department, doesn't matter. So then you're gonna land the ship, whichever ship you are. Remember, we have the smallest ships We have the smallest yachts, and we have the biggest ones, mega ones, like Icon of the Seas. We have the Seashores. We have big ships that carry even up to 6,000 guests. So obviously this is going to be enormous. And you have the smallest one that might be very, very teeny tiny, that carry very few guests. So wherever it is, just stay open-minded, and this, you're gonna get lost anyway. You know, you're gonna get lost at some point, because remember, it's your new day. It's the first day, so what do you expect? You didn't know this environment before you left your country or before you left home. A little bit inside you're scared, but you're like, okay, I'm here, I travel all the way. Most of the people are very enthusiastic on the first day, which I feel like you should be, for you to just keep going. It can be a little bit too much, but you can handle it, okay? I believe in you. You've been settled in, you've been shown your cabin, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Today we are talking about three things. We're going to talk about your living arrangement, we're going to talk about the working hours, and we're going to just touch a little bit about the reality of work and travel. So, staying arrangements or living arrangements, most of the departments in the hotel department or hotel side, you're gonna be living two of you in most of the ships. In other companies, you might get conjoined cabins. What do I mean like that? You are living two, and then you have a bathroom to share. So you're like using the bathroom for people, but then obviously in the cabin you are two. I haven't been to any other ship that people live more than two, so I cannot talk about that. I'm not sure if there is any other cabin with more than two people. I am not sure. So you're here, you have your cabin mate. Please remember, this is also a person, could be different, could be coming from another culture than yours. So you have to communicate, okay? The secret here is communication. Be open, tell them how you live, how you like, how you feel you like your space, and give them an opportunity to actually tell you what they like, how they like to live, and how is their pattern. If you're doing the same shift, then you have to agree who showers first, who is slower. It's natural, because I have been on the ships for almost 6 years or over, and I see people moving cabins and fighting and all this just because of miscommunication. Yeah, you can easily blame me for waking up and putting on lights when you didn't tell me, you know. But if you talk to me and you say, Charity, I prefer to be quiet in the mornings, or I don't like a lot of light, it kind of wakes me up, then I have to figure out how to accommodate that. Maybe I can use the bathroom light and let you sleep, or maybe, you know, come up with something. We have several lights, or maybe just put the dim light if I can work with that. You know, you have to talk about it. And maybe I don't like people coming to our cabin, or maybe I don't like visitors, so you also have to listen. I don't like visitors. I mean, I'm friendly. I am friendly, I can talk to many people, but I don't like people in my space. You know, you have to be honest about it, okay? So when it comes to living, you will be two if you are in a lower department. As you go up high, of course, in ranks, you have officers, depending with the stripes. Some officers will be in the single cabin. Of course, most of the 3 and above stripes are in the single cabin, and it also now varies with the deck, right? There are those who are on deck 4 in a very nice single cabin. There are those who are on deck 8 in a very nice single cabin, facing or seafront, if you can say it, seafront on a cruise ship, right? And you go all the way to deck 13 or deck 14, wherever the captain stays, you know, all the suits and all the staff captains. So the ranks will be like that. So depending with the rank, you're gonna find either you are sharing, or you could be like a staff. By staff, I mean like especially entertainment. They have a nice cabin on deck 4. They could be sharing, but different beds, not like a deck bed. You know, in the hotel department, most of our beds are like deck beds. Your bottom, I'm up, your bottom, and that's how it works, okay? So now you're settled in, you're living with your cabin mate, who I'm assuming by now you get along. You should be getting along. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long 6 months. Anyway, you are now going to work. Working hours. How many hours do we work? And how are they calculated? Alright, so for the working hours, you have a convention called Maritime Labor Convention, which actually guides the working hours you'll be doing and how the cruise ships can regulate seafarer schedule. So within 24 hours, you have to have a 10 hours rest, and within a week, you have 77 hours of rest. So however you're working on your schedule, you need to be checking, because you will clock in, you will clock out. It will tell you the amount of hours you've worked and which hours you're resting. So depending with the department and how the schedules are, in the bar we have morning shifts, and we kind of go on break, a little bit of a long break, and come back in the evening. Then in I think it applies the same with the restaurant, because by this time the guests are having breakfast, a little bit of a rush if it's a port day, and then during the day the assumption is they're going on port, and by afternoon they're back, so the shift then carries on, and they have the evening shift, mid shift, so they're scheduled like that. So like every shift is fully covered, just the manning will change. When we say the manning, it means the number of the crew. Okay, so you have the convention that will guide you to calculate your hours. Then now, in general sense, how is it like working and traveling? Let's be honest, some of the departments, and this I'm saying truthfully, don't have the luxury of travel as you see it online. Because like in the bar, as I said, I will be working, let's say an assumption of a shift, I wake up 6, I work until 10 or 11, I have a break, I come back at 3. So we, from 11 to 3, I have these few hours to go outside and do whatever I like to do, right? But assuming I'm not going outside, what am I going to be doing? Probably sleeping, if you're like me, going to the jacuzzi, chit-chatting with friends. Most of the people will prefer to rest than to go outside or to do anything. But it depends how you're feeling and your body is, right? And your interests. And then obviously you come back, you're working. If you're in the bar, you have a rush, so you're going to dinner and you're coming back, and basically the day is done. So when the day is done, you then are deciding, am I going to rest? Am I going to the crew bar, those of us who drink? Am I going to this, I don't know, to the salon for those who do hair? Some of them do extra work on the side. What am I going to do? Okay, again, most people will prefer to rest, because remember, you've been working for almost 12 hours, right? So some of the ships, because I've worked in 2 different companies, you might work port days 10 hours and 12 hours while at sea. And some of the companies, you work same hours on port and sea days. So different companies, different schedules, just the time that MLC has put there cuts across all the companies, okay? As we said, some of the departments might not be able to see outside because they work like a straight day shift or a straight day night. I mean, day shift or a straight night shift. So let's say somebody working straight day shift, they start maybe 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They have a lunch break and they have a dinner break. So this person probably will just see outside of the port and not really like explore. They don't have much time. Over the contract, it doesn't mean this person will do the same shift. They might change and go night shift, so they have more time to go outside in the day. But these kind of departments, let's say maybe the galley, some of the departments that do straight shifts, maybe public area cleaning, can be a little bit of challenge. So if you're somebody who likes to travel more than anything, obviously check your interests in the department that you're going to. Make sure the department has shifts that can allow you as a person to actually explore. Okay, so as we sip and share, remember to share these episodes with your friends who want to work and travel, who wants to join ships, or just have an interest of knowing how cruise ships do work. Okay, anybody interested in the work and travel can easily find this joyful and learn a thing or two, right? So it's been your favorite mixologist, Charity, for sure, sipping my hibiscus. As we said, you can always have fun without alcohol. So I hope you've enjoyed. I hope it's informative. Let me know what you want me to talk about next, and I will see you on the next episode. Please remember to subscribe and like my videos. Cheers.